June 3, 1957, 2:47 a.m. The fireball could be seen from Brooklyn Heights. A 42-foot cabin cruiser named Lady Luck erupted in the middle of New York Bay, turning night into day for 3 terrifying seconds. The explosion was so powerful it shattered windows at the Red Hook Marine Terminal half a mile away. Coast Guard Station New York received the call at 2:49 a.m. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. By the time their cutter reached the coordinates, there was nothing left but burning debris floating on black water and the smell of gasoline mixing with something else. Something chemical. Something deliberate. The boat's owner was listed as Michael "Mickey Shoes" Colucci, a professional gambler and regular at the high-stakes poker games that floated between Manhattan's underground clubs. Mickey Shoes was 34 years old, known for his custom Italian footwear and his ability to read a poker tell from across a smoke-filled room. His body was found 3 days later, washed up near Coney Island. The medical examiner noted severe burns, but also something else: a single gunshot wound to the back of the head. Small caliber, probably a .22. The kind of bullet the mob used for close work. But here's what the newspapers didn't report, what the police files buried in the back of a dusty warehouse won't tell you. Mickey Shoes didn't die in that explosion. He was already dead when the boat went up. And the reason his boat exploded in New York Bay had nothing to do with gambling debts or bad beats at the poker table. It had everything to do with $280,000 in cash that belonged to Albert Anastasia, and a secret that Mickey Shoes discovered 3 weeks before his death. A secret so dangerous that it got him killed twice. To understand what happened on that boat, you need to understand the world Mickey Shoes lived in. By 1957, illegal gambling in New York was a multi-million-dollar operation controlled by the 5 families. But the real money wasn't in the neighborhood numbers games or the small-time bookies. The real money was in the high-stakes poker games that catered to millionaires, politicians, and criminals who thought they were untouchable. These weren't card games in smoky basements. These were invitation-only affairs held in penthouse suites, private clubs, and luxury apartments. The buy-in was $50,000 minimum. The players included shipping magnates, Broadway producers, union bosses, and mob figures who wanted to gamble with people who could actually cover their losses. Mickey Shoes wasn't just a player in these games. He was a facilitator. A man who knew everyone, who could vouch for new players, who understood the unwritten rules that kept these games running smoothly. Don't cheat, don't talk about who you played with, and most importantly, always pay your debts. Mickey had been running in these circles since 1952. He'd learned the game from his uncle, Sal Colucci, who'd been a dealer at the Copacabana before a heart attack took him in '54. Mickey had a gift for cards, but more than that, he had a gift for reading people. He knew when a man was bluffing, when he was desperate, when he was dangerous. By 1957, Mickey was pulling down $200,000 a year from poker alone. He lived in a 3-bedroom apartment on Central Park West, drove a '56 Cadillac Eldorado, and kept his boat docked at a private marina in Sheepshead Bay. He wasn't married, didn't have kids, and according to friends, he liked it that way. No complications, no vulnerabilities. But on May 11, 1957, Mickey Shoes made a decision that would cost him everything. He accepted an invitation to a private game at the Pierre Hotel, hosted by Albert Anastasia. Albert Anastasia wasn't just another mob boss. He was the Lord High Executioner, the man who'd founded Murder, Inc., the enforcement arm of the National Crime Syndicate. By 1957, Anastasia controlled the Brooklyn waterfront, the Longshoremen's Union, and had his hands in everything from narcotics to legitimate businesses. Anastasia also loved to gamble. High-stakes poker was one of his few pleasures, a place where he could relax, where the normal rules of the underworld didn't apply. In these games, your money talked, not your reputation. A shipping executive could take. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. 100,000 from a mob boss, and everyone would shake hands and laugh about it. The game on May 11th was typical. 7 players, $50,000 buy-in, no-limit Texas Hold'em. The players included Anastasia, Mickey Shoes, a real estate developer named Irving Schloss, a garment district millionaire, and 3 others whose names were never recorded. Mickey was up 140,000 by midnight. He'd caught cards all night, but more than that, he'd read Anastasia perfectly. The Lord High Executioner had a tell. When he was bluffing, his left hand would move toward his collar, adjusting his tie. Subtle, but Mickey caught it. At 1:30 a.m., Mickey knocked Anastasia out of a 200,000 pot with a stone-cold bluff. Anastasia threw his cards down, laughed, and said something that would stick with Mickey. "You got balls, Mickey Shoes. I respect that." The game broke up around 3 a.m. Mickey walked out of the Pierre Hotel with 287,000 in cash stuffed into a leather briefcase. It was the biggest night of his gambling career. What Mickey didn't know, what nobody in that room knew, was that 280,000 of Anastasia's money at that game wasn't his gambling bankroll. It was cash that belonged to the commission, money from a narcotics deal that Anastasia was supposed to deliver to Frank Costello the next morning. And now it was gone, sitting in Mickey Shoe's briefcase as he walked down Fifth Avenue toward his car, whistling Sinatra, thinking about how lucky he was. May 12th, 1957, 11:08 a.m. Albert Anastasia stood in his suite at the Warwick Hotel, staring at his accountant, Salvatore Marino. The numbers didn't lie. After last night's poker game, Anastasia was 280,000 short for the delivery to Frank Costello. "How much do we have liquid?" Anastasia asked, his voice dangerously calm. "Maybe $80,000, Salvatore replied, shuffling papers. "The rest is tied up in the union pension fund, the construction projects, I didn't ask for a goddamn financial report," Anastasia interrupted. "I asked how much cash we can get our hands on in the next 12 hours. "Not enough?" Anastasia lit a cigar, thinking. The commission meeting was scheduled for 8 p.m. tonight. Costello would be expecting his cut from the narcotics shipment. If Anastasia showed up short, it would raise questions. Dangerous questions about where the money went. He couldn't tell them he'd gambled it away. The commission had rules about mixing business money with personal gambling. It showed weakness, lack of control. In their world, weakness got you killed. Anastasia made a decision. He'd tell Costello there was a delay with the shipment, buy himself a week to recover the money. Then he'd go back to Mickey Shoes, play another game, and win his money. Back. Simple. What Anastasia didn't know was that Mickey Shoes had already figured out something was wrong. Mickey wasn't stupid. He'd been around the mob long enough to know that when a man like Albert Anastasia loses 280,000 and laughs about it, something's off. Normal people get angry when they lose that kind of money. They demand rematches. They make threats. But Anastasia had just smiled, shaken Mickey's hand, and walked away. That worried Mickey more than any threat would have. On May 13th, Mickey did something he'd never done before. He reached out to a contact at the NYPD, a detective named Frank Serpico's predecessor, a clean cop who owed Mickey a favor from years back. "I need information," Mickey said over coffee at a diner in Queens. "Quiet information about Albert Anastasia's business dealings." The detective shook his head. "You don't want to go there, Mickey." "I'm already there. I just need to know if I'm in trouble." 3 days later, the detective called. "Mickey, that money you won, it wasn't Anastasia's personal money. Word is, it was commission money, narcotics deal. You need to disappear, Mickey. Tonight." Mickey Shoes had 3 options. He could return the money, admit he knew where it came from, and hope Anastasia believed he wasn't trying to steal it. But that would make him look weak, and worse, it would put him in Anastasia's debt. He could run. Take the 287,000, get on a plane to Mexico or Cuba, and never look back. But Mickey had built a life in New York. He had connections, respect, a reputation. Running would mean giving all of that up, or he could do nothing. Keep the money, act like he didn't know anything was wrong, and hope Anastasia wouldn't come looking for it. Mickey chose option 3. It was the worst decision of his life. For 3 weeks, Mickey waited. He kept his normal routine, showed up at his usual poker games, acted like nothing was wrong. But he also took precautions. He moved the money out of his apartment, split it up, hid it in 3 different safety deposit boxes across Manhattan. He started varying his routes home. He stopped parking in the same spots, and he started sleeping with a .38 revolver under his pillow. What Mickey didn't know was that Anastasia wasn't coming for him. Not yet. Because Anastasia had a bigger problem. On May 20th, Frank Costello was shot in the lobby of his apartment building on Central Park West. The bullet grazed his skull, a botched hit that would have been laughable if it wasn't so serious. The shooter got away, but everyone knew who ordered it, Vito Genovese, making a play for control of Costello's operation. The commission was fracturing. Old alliances were breaking. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. In the chaos, Anastasia saw an opportunity. If he could align with Genovese, if he could deliver something valuable, he could strengthen his position, maybe even expand his territory. But he needed money. He needed to show strength. And that meant he needed his $280,000 back. On May 28th, Anastasia sent 2 men to talk to Mickey Shoes. Not enforcers, just messengers. They found Mickey at his usual lunch spot, a deli on 47th Street. "Mr. Anastasia would like to invite you to another game," one of them said. "This Friday, same stakes. He wants a chance to win his money back." Mickey looked at them, trying to read the situation. Was this a genuine invitation or a trap? "Tell Mr. Anastasia I'd be honored," Mickey said. "Friday at the Pierre?" "No, private location this time. Mr. Anastasia will send a car for you, 10 p.m. That's when Mickey knew. This wasn't about a poker game. This was about the money. Anastasia had figured it out, and now he was making his move. Mickey had 72 hours to decide what to do. May 31st, 1957, 3 p.m. Mickey Shoes sat in his apartment staring at the phone. He'd made his decision. He wasn't going to that poker game. He wasn't going to wait for Anastasia's men to come for him. He was going to run. But first, he needed to move the money. The safety deposit boxes were too risky now. If Anastasia knew about the commission money, he'd have people watching the banks. Mickey needed somewhere safer, somewhere nobody would think to look. He thought about his boat. The Lady Luck was docked at a private marina in Sheepshead Bay, registered under a shell company. Nobody knew about it except Mickey and his accountant. The boat had a hidden compartment below the cabin floor, installed by the previous owner who'd used it to smuggle liquor during Prohibition. Perfect. On the morning of June 1st, Mickey retrieved the money from all 3 safety deposit boxes. He stuffed the cash into 2 duffel bags, loaded them into his Cadillac, and drove to Sheepshead Bay. The marina was quiet that morning, just a few fishermen heading out early. Mickey boarded the Lady Luck, unlocked the hidden compartment, and stashed the money inside. The plan was simple. Lay low for a few days, then take the boat down the right coast to Florida, maybe keep going to the Caribbean. Start over somewhere warm. What Mickey didn't see was the man watching from the parking lot. Vincent "Vinny 2 times" Squilanti, one of Anastasia's most trusted associates, had been following Mickey for 2 days. He'd watched Mickey go into the banks, watched him load the duffel bags, watched him drive to the marina. Vinny didn't move immediately. He waited until Mickey left the boat and drove away. Then he walked down to the dock, found the Lady Luck, and made a phone call from a payphone near the marina entrance. "Boss," Vinny said when Anastasia picked up, "I found your money. It's on his boat." "All of it?" "I'd bet on it." "Don't touch the boat," Anastasia said. "I'll handle this personally." But Anastasia didn't handle it personally, because on June the 2nd, everything changed. That afternoon, the NYPD raided one of Anastasia's gambling operations in Brooklyn. They arrested 14 people, seized $50,000 in cash, and shut down what the newspapers called the largest illegal casino in New York City. The raid was a message from Vito Genovese. The war between the families was escalating, and Anastasia was under pressure from all sides. He didn't have time to personally deal with Mickey Shoes. So he made a call to a specialist, a man named Peter the Bomber Catino, who'd been handling demolition work for the mob since the 1940s. Catino wasn't a gunman. He was an expert in explosives, a former Navy demolitionist who'd learned his trade during World War II. "I need you to take care of something," Anastasia told him. "A boat in Sheepshead Bay. Make it look like an accident, engine fire, fuel leak, whatever. But I need it done tonight." "What about the owner?" "He'll be on the boat. Take care of him first, then blow it. I want the money destroyed. If I can't have it, nobody can." Catino understood. This wasn't about recovering the money anymore. This was about sending a message. You don't steal, from Albert Anastasia, and live to tell about it. That evening, June the 2nd at 9:30 p.m., Mickey Shoes received a phone call at his apartment. The voice on the other end was friendly, familiar. It was a regular from the poker circuit, a guy named Tommy who ran a small bookmaking operation in the Bronx. "Mickey, I got a problem," Tommy said. "I got a guy who owes me $15,000, says he can pay, but he wants to meet tonight. Can you back me up? I trust you more than my own guys." Mickey hesitated. He was planning to leave town the next morning. His bags were already packed. "Where's the meet?" Mickey asked. "Sheepshead Bay. The guy's got a boat there. Says he's got the cash on board. I just need someone to watch my back while I collect." "What time?" "Midnight. I'll meet you at the marina." Mickey should have said no. Every instinct told him this was wrong. But Tommy was a friend, had been for years, and $15,000 was enough money that Tommy would need backup. "All right," Mickey said. "I'll be there." Tommy hung up. He'd done what Anastasia's people asked him to do. He'd made the call, set up the meet. In exchange, his $30,000 gambling debt to Anastasia would be forgiven. Tommy never showed up at the marina that night. June 3rd, 1957, 12:15 a.m. Mickey Shoes arrived at Sheepshead Bay Marina 15 minutes late. The parking lot was empty except for his Cadillac and one other car, a black Chrysler Imperial. Mickey didn't recognize it. He walked down to the docks looking for Tommy. The marina was dark, just a few lights illuminating the walkways between the slips. The Lady Luck was exactly where. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, where he'd left it, rocking gently in the calm water. "Tommy?" Mickey called out. His voice echoed across the water. No response. That's when he saw the figure standing on his boat, a man in a dark coat holding something that looked like a toolbox. "This is private property," Mickey said, his hand moving toward the .38 in his jacket pocket. The man turned around. He was older, maybe 50, with a weathered face and steady eyes. Peter Catino. "Mr. Colucci," Catino said calmly, "I've been waiting for you." Mickey pulled his gun. "Get off my boat." Catino didn't move. "You should know something before you shoot me. There are 2 men in that car up there with rifles. You pull that trigger, you don't make it 5 steps. Mickey glanced back toward the parking lot. He couldn't see anyone, but that didn't mean they weren't there. "What do you want?" "I'm here on behalf of Mr. Anastasia. He'd like his money back." "I don't know what you're talking about." Catino smiled. "The $280,000 you won at the Pierre Hotel. The money that's currently hidden in a compartment below the cabin floor of this very boat. That money." Mickey's mind raced. How did they know about the compartment? Had someone been on his boat? "That money was won fair and square," Mickey said. "Poker game. Anastasia was there. He can't welch on a gambling debt." "This isn't about gambling." "Debts," Catino said. "That money belonged to the commission. It was never Anastasia's to lose." Mickey felt his stomach drop. So it was true. The detective had been right. "Look," Mickey said, lowering his gun slightly. "I didn't know. I'll give it back. All of it. Just let me walk away." Catino shook his head slowly. "It's not that simple anymore. Too many people know about this. If Anastasia lets you walk after stealing commission money, he looks weak. And in our business, weakness gets you killed." "So what, you're going to kill me over money I didn't even know was dirty?" "I'm going to kill you because those are my orders," Catino said. "But I'm going to give you a choice about how it happens. You can come aboard, make this quick and clean. 1 bullet, you won't feel anything. Or you can run, and my associates up there will cut you down in the parking lot. Messy, painful, undignified." Mickey looked at the gun in his hand, then at Catino, then back at the parking lot. He was horrified and trapped. Even if he could shoot Catino, he'd never make it off the dock. "What about the money?" Mickey asked. "That's not your concern anymore." Mickey Shoes took a deep breath. He thought about his apartment on Central Park West, his Cadillac, all those poker games. He thought about his Uncle Sal, who'd taught him that the most important thing in gambling was knowing when to fold. This was that moment. Time to fold. Mickey climbed aboard the Lady Luck. "Turn around," Catino said quietly. Mickey turned around, facing the water, facing the lights of Brooklyn in the distance. His last thought was that the city looked beautiful at night. The gunshot was quiet, a small .22 that barely made a sound. Mickey's shoes fell forward onto the deck, dead before he hit the wood. Catino worked quickly. He positioned Mickey's body in the cabin, then retrieved his toolbox. Inside were 4 blocks of C4 explosive, military grade, enough to obliterate a boat this size. He'd already planted the charges while waiting for Mickey to arrive. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Now he just needed to set the timer. But first, he opened the hidden compartment and confirmed the money was there. 2 duffel bags stuffed with cash. He didn't count it. He just doused both bags with accelerant to ensure they'd burn completely. Catino set the timer for 2:45 a.m., giving himself plenty of time to get clear. Then he climbed off the boat, walked calmly up to the parking lot, and got into the passenger seat of the Chrysler Imperial. "It's done," he told the driver. They were 3 miles away when the Lady Luck exploded. The fireball lit up the entire bay. The shockwave shattered windows half a mile away. By the time the Coast Guard arrived, there was nothing left but burning debris and oil slicks on black water. The police investigation was perfunctory. Mickey's shoes, known gambler with mob connections, dead in a boat explosion. Probable cause, fuel leak, engine fire, accidental death. The case was closed within 2 weeks. But in the underworld, everyone knew the truth. You don't steal from the commission and live. Albert Anastasia never recovered that $280,000. It burned with the boat, turned to ash and smoke, but he didn't need the money anymore. The message had been sent. 6 months later, on October 25, 1957, Anastasia himself would be murdered in the barbershop at the Park Sheraton Hotel, shot dead by Genovese's men while getting a shave. The war between the families would continue for years, reshaping the entire structure of organized crime in New York. But Mickey Shoes' story became a cautionary tale, whispered in back rooms and late-night poker games. The lesson was simple. In the mob's world, there's no such thing as a clean win. Every dollar has a history, every game has hidden stakes, and sometimes the biggest gamble isn't what you bet at the table. It's whether you walk away alive.